from here to here, and then I go like that, it's as though somebody changes the camera as opposed to walking between. And the same as like...
We make it together. I'm the choreographer, they are the dancer, and the thing exists in the space between us, but I mean, that's how it gets made.
Yeah.
I don't really know afterwards as well as they do what's going on. They hold the piece, and they own it. I don't.
I wish I could like erase something that you think you're supposed to do. And then, yeah. Ah, nice. Now, that's like this, like, can we go this? Like,
she has a way of being musical that allows the dancer to find their own musicality. Like she works it so that it's inevitable, meaning she's not going to tell you to dance this movement on that note. She puts it in a framework so that you have no other option than to align with it because that's what needs to happen. You feel, and it is, your own at the same time as it. So that there's a real collaboration there. She always says that, once she gives you the steps and the movement, and once she gives it to you, it's yours.
Music enables me to hear another score, which can be silence or speaking or whatever. It's another musical score, as it were, that arrives that is in alignment with making dance.
And you're going to negotiate. And you're going to negotiate again. And then you're going to say a phrase. Right, that's it. And that, or that. And so this leads to that. This leads to that. And this is a big negotiation of back to that, like back to this, like each one pulling from this direction, yeah? And again, that's the spirit of it. We're not gonna get heavy because Wonderlawn is its wild self, but that's the information.
Wonderlawn and was this arrival after the crisis, the AIDS crisis in New York. So many of us who remain just went into various stages of shock and awe. Some people just wandered away. Other people continue to work. But the context in which to see our work has disappeared. So I think Wonderlawn took me this long because that's how long it took to process what happened. And not solely that, there's the living of the life as well. Actually, I just really did a satisfying ending to Wonderlawn about 3 weeks ago. So that was a very tricky thing. And it really, nothing was cooked till it hit the big stage, which is kind of ironic. I mean, because the big stage is not something I had in mind, really, ever.
Stick him in and almost get him back. That's right. Roll the hips in the front out if you want. Turn the back. And then what happens? Kaboom. Up. And fingers. And you turn around. And boom. Boom. And doom. Okay. Boom, boom, doom. Doom. Yeah? So this is very uncomfortable and you feel like you're going to trip. You feel like you're going to trip. Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's okay.
You can show me that little bit of awkwardness, yes? Amy is really the owner of Wonderlawn, so her insights into what the piece is about, where the focus should be, how she embodies it, is, priceless to us. So all along, she would come and, in fact, the piece actually, there's a long series of duets between Amy and Leonie that travel through my work, and they've been dancing together for a very long time. Amy actually brought Leonie to the studio. Leonie's here only a couple of years less than Amy, but they work together a lot. So in Wonderlawn, they have a partnership, and I had to rework the group when Amy could not dance it. And I couldn't give her part to a single person because it just didn't make sense for the piece. So I broke it up and split it. So it became more abstracted in that moment and less of a duet and more of just some more gathering kind of thing. But when she returns, the piece will return to that part. So I guess you could say Wonderlawn is still being finished, so that's kind of interesting. Ba boom, this boom, yeah, ba boom, yeah, ba boom,
With Wonderlawn, there's a lot of movement that is the entire core, or, a collective doing, but you feel lonely. The more that I started sitting to watch and watching the other dancers, I was having my own longing. I started to recognize that all the information that you needed emotionally as a dancer to do it and to feel it was in the form.
That's right. Exactly. But see that feeling? That's the one you want to become more and more accustomed to, okay? We belong to one another, and also it's the nature of the form. The nature of the form requires real interaction between people, and especially in this sort of ethos between, if you're the choreographer and the artists who perform the work. There's I'm not anything without them. Nothing is anything. There's no translation at all of nothing. It's just nothing. And it infuses everything. Even with all the installation stuff, because it's very important for me to make all this stuff with my hands, they're involved in that as well. When I looked at them, when they're all lined up, and you know how you're influenced by place and you don't know it? And when they're lined up, I thought, my God, they're dominoes. And I'm kind of obsessed with the dominoes in Little Havana, but I never noticed that they look like dominoes. Yes. This stage is, is like a dream, because it has these enormous, like Broadway specs, and the seating is so intimate. If I could invent a space in my mind that was perfect for my work, it would be that. Nothing could be really, really complete until I could see if it translated in this sort of larger picture that stage afforded, and the intimacy of the audience so close and so minimized. It's like 200 seats, and that feeling is sort of the small being lost in the large, or subsumed by the large, or taken care of by the Large is really a dream come true for me. I wanted it before I knew I wanted it. When I first went to hang the dress in Wonderlawn, the crew was like, higher, higher. I was like, yes, I want it to look as though maybe it doesn't belong there, or you just kind of notice it.
Once upon a time, the city girl. When the sun wakes, where you come from? Up and home and down Broadway, but when you're living, so I'm so near that interests me when culturally we made things together. You know, the brain is hardwired for connection. I began to devise a training of tracing and breathing that created another octave to how the human body moved and could perceive movement. The process of Light Body, it's not like a codified thing. It's something where the doors are open and it continues to evolve. So you have to kind of stay with it so that you can continue to evolve. In school, the first formative years, you're learning to read, and then afterwards you're reading to learn. So with Light Body, first you have to build the bridge before you can take it, before you can use it. So there's a lot of years of constructing. Like you have to build an infrastructure before you can actually use the language. That's disappeared in the watching or the viewing of it. If you're in the audience, all of that goes away, and hopefully, and you're left with a wash of feelings. Wonderlawn took me 30-something years, really, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't make a plan. I didn't know what it was. But then that's what permitted the arrival of Big Beautiful. Big Beautiful took us a year from the day we began rehearsing to the day it was first workshopped here at the studio.
When I dance Big Beautiful, I feel, even if there are times, when I'm alone or whatever, I always feel a part of the whole. I always feel part of the collective. And there are sections when each dancer, is off in a corner doing choreography that no one else is doing or ever does in the piece, but you never feel like you're isolated. You feel part of the whole.
5, 6, ready, and up, 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 up. Collectively, we decided to create work that was open-ended, that didn't have a fixed finish line in mind, but just to work on something and until it was done.
That's it.
I combine things when I work to arrive or make portals into other senses of poetry. It's not about going back to something. It's about knowing what things, what numbers, what geometrical functions, what through nature, what things are always in present time, like love is always in present time. So we have to sort of get to a point of understanding that the things that are in present time are the things that need to be cherished and we need to involve ourselves in so that they can evolve. And those are the areas in which we become really vast and can make incredible inventions. And if we are really investigating those sort of primary cosmic principles, and they're mirrored in nature, which is again why Big Beautiful is what it is, I mean, it's right there in front of you. Depends on, like Dr. King said, noticing is an insurrectionary act. It's about noticing it and relating to it. Also, that's the only way I know how to make art, for sure. Even if it means that on the practical level, on the financial, how to keep it going, you cannot keep your focus on that. You can't. Even if it seems, counterintuitive, you have to keep your focus on the other. It's risky, but it's alive, I mean, why would you want to maintain something that didn't have that as its primary purpose? So in the times we're in right now, you have to keep, you have to be a person of substance, and if you're a person of substance, you can always make a home.